Open meeting, open to the public, to anybody, town of Warren. Apparently this meeting is being taped, so I just want to make a reference as being taped, audio and videotape. My name is Igor Kuprycz. I'm a chairman of a cable advisory committee. Lisa Mundell, Holly the Landscape. They are members of the cable advisory committee. Purpose of this meeting is that by law, from the Department of Telecommunications and Cable, we have to start the process of negotiating with Comcast Xfinity new cable contract that expires on December 31st, 2023. By law, we have to start negotiating the process now. Purpose of this meeting is hear any positive, negative complaints, ideas, how can we improve, what can be done better. The way this thing works is that this is the first open meeting to the public. We're going to have another one meeting, probably September or October. Same format, same thing, whoever wants to come. After that, we'll be meeting with the Board Advisory Committee. We'll be meeting with Board of Selectmen and report to Board of Selectmen about comments, concerns, what can we do better, or whatever has to be done. After that, the Board of Selectmen will request a meeting with representatives from Comcast. They will come in, and then it starts negotiations with them about the new contract. Usually, as it goes, Xfinity, Comcast, they want a 10-year contract, because that's very easy for them that way. If there is a disagreement, like we had last time, we threatened them that we are going to do an only 5-year or 1-year contract. So that was give and go, and finally the compromise was made somehow. That would take probably at least year and a half or more. And I don't know if any one of us will be here, especially me, her, or whatever. But this is the process that we have to go through, and it's dictated by the Department of Telecommunications. What I'm going to do now is open this meeting to you people on the floor. We're going to try to take a notes. Any ideas, suggestions, complaints, anything you want to know that I can answer, I will try to answer it. I do have a contract in front of me, and I want to mention that too, that already senior manager for Comcast was notified that we are starting process as we should, dictated by Department of Telecommunications. So this letter was sent to them notifying that we're starting this process. So, and that's all I got now to tell you how this process will be played out. Please, it's open. Go right ahead.
I personally would like to see Comcast out of Warren. I think they do a lousy job. I would like to see a cable company that will give us local weather and local news. I don't appreciate or care about Boston. I want to see Channel 3, 22, and 40 back. The last time we went through this, the FCC blamed Warren's Cable. Warren's Cable blamed the FCC, and then Comcast was in the middle blaming everybody but themselves. No one can tell us why we lost those channels. We get commercials from Springfield, so why can't we get something local that will help the people in Warren. If it's charter, I say switch to charter.
I can answer partially on most about this. In regards to local channels, which you probably mean Springfield channels and Channel 3, I think when the change was made by FCC. Somebody, my best explanation on this, somebody sitting somewhere, say in Oshkosh, Wisconsin or whatever, look on the map and they said, okay, Warren, Worcester County, Boston. That's how decision was made. In regards to, we had people raise the same question as you do, soon as that switch began. We had about, I would say, 600, 650 signatures. Board of Selectmen sent to them, Comcast, I think smaller got that too, and nothing they could supposedly do about it.
Well, what you do is you don't give them the 10-year contract. You go with somebody, and that's a good negotiating point. We either get something we really want or need, or we go to charter.
I agree with you that we can probably demand, and the Board of Selectmen will agree with that we somehow get switched to the local channels, to Springfield channels, or give us a both. On the part that you're saying switch to charter, you have no choice. This is, Comcast runs a monopoly. Only choice you have, if you choose so, is satellite. It's either DirecTV or Dish. A matter of the Comcast or charter, there's no way you're going to get it unless they make a deal between themselves somehow to swap the land, and Comcast will give their territory some to charter, and charter, go vice versa. It's a monopoly. We can try it, but
Because West
honestly, I'm
Brookfield-
telling you how it is.
West Brookfield has charter.
Yes.
So they're Worcester County, and if we're Worcester County, supposedly, then why can't we get charter?
That's what we
And-
would explain before, somebody looking at a map. Like I said, we had over 600 signatures. You're probably one of
Oh, yeah.
them. And I know the people that were here done that. Board of Selectmen send them. But we will put that, she's taking the notes, and then we will put that in
Thank you.
contract and see what we can get. It's almost like McDonald's and Burger King. They two separate things, and one doesn't want to touch another one, It's the same thing almost. Go ahead, Peter.
Igor, to stay on this subject, I did 2 years ago call several people and talk to the gentleman that comes out and negotiates with you. And he told me, and his words were, that it was not impossible to get some of our channels back. He said, first, he did talk about the petition, but he made it sound like to me it went to the wrong place, the petition. I want you to know that. He didn't tell me where the right place was, but he was familiar with the petition. He says, you can submit a petition, but it has to go to the right place. That's what he said to me on the phone. And he also said that there's no guarantee that we could switch to Western Mass, but maybe we can negotiate 1 or 2 channels instead of everything, and do something like that. But he did say to me it was not impossible to do this. He made that clear to me on the phone. He said there is a possibility. So I didn't get his name. I lost it. I have it at one time, but he did come out to Warren. He said he knew you personally, and he has come here before. So,
If you can find a name, please give it to us.
and I had to call 3 different phone numbers before I got to this gentleman that would actually talk to me, that was familiar with Warren, and he knew what our issue was. He knew about the signatures. He knew all the information, but he made it clear to me that he didn't feel it went to the right place.
I agree with myself because we live 22 miles or 25 miles from Springfield. The Springfield channels, if you remember the hurricane was in the monsoon,
Exactly.
what had it and 72 or 75 miles from Boston, and they didn't even probably put that up when we knew here. I agree with that. As far as I know, what I was told, that the letter, Board of Selectmen sent the letter, went to Richard and Neal, Smola, and Goby. And somehow it died.
Right.
That's.
And this is
Right,
how
and we were told the same thing, there's more or less no way.
So-
But, like I said, if you find a name, I will get contact, even invite you, we can both together work on it, and we put it on the agenda to selectmen to try it
He
again.
said he comes to Warren during our contract negotiations, so whoever comes out, it must be the guy. So I don't know who's gonna come out eventually, but
Personally, I agree with you, because that's my opinion too. We should have that. Go ahead.
Does it have to do with ratings?
Ratings, I don't think so. For what I knew was that when they did redistricting, somebody went and looked at the corner, Warren, okay, Worcester County, blah, 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 closed there, and that's how they made a decision. You know, that's what was said when we were complaining at that time. You belong to Worcester County, you belong to Boston Channels. That's it.
I don't know, I heard that it was somebody in Boston that, whoever the manager up there, it had to do with the ratings, that they wanted the ratings for Boston, not for Springfield.
It's possible, I wasn't told that, so I don't know. But it's possible, the ratings, and advertising eventually comes down to the money, probably, so, you know, that's probably one of the
I'm
legitimate
sure it's
answers
something they
to
could
get.
fix easy, because years ago when I lived in Grafton with Charter, I was getting news from New Hampshire. And we called and complained about it, and, oh, yeah, apparently your box was programmed wrong. And that's all they did, well, reset the box, it's all fixed. It's gotta be something that somebody can punch into a computer somehow, especially with the way cable is nowadays.
Oh, there is.
It shouldn't be this difficult to fix.
It's not difficult, they can go in, like you said, a computer, punch in, you get those channels. Idea is if they wanted to, or whoever makes a decision, say, yes, orange, that closed, and a perfect example for emergencies or something like that, say a weather emergency, they're a lot closer there, they're gonna get it than Boston. So, but for whatever reason, they didn't wanna do it, after the petitions were sent to the representatives and senator, we got just no answer on that. The Board of Selectmen, same thing, apparently said, you know, so. As I'm trying to, we are advisory committee, so we take it at first run, and we relay that, but the rest of it is done, more or less, through the Board of Selectmen. You know, special things like the channels, you wanna switch that or something like that. Go ahead. Tom.
The rerun of last Thursday's meeting
Yeah.
cut out at comments and concerns. You were speaking,
Yeah.
and then it cut out.
I wonder if it is still gonna walk again. I don't know why.
That was their problems.
Huh?
Is it being their problems?
I don't know if they had any actually comments, because I remember
wasn't.
I had to ask the question. I said, this is comments and concerns, so then I jump in, and I don't know if they,
all you announced was you were gonna
yeah,
have this meeting.
right.
That's all
I
he
went.
said.
I don't think they formally said it, this is part of comment, but did you see that on that tape, it was played on tape, did you see it as one of Board of Selectmen said adjourn meeting, or, no?
Nobody
we-
adjourned the meeting.
Okay, we double checked that. If you want me, I will replay that
No,
meeting.
but it happens quite
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people does it take?
Can you make a note, we're gonna ask formally selectmen to reset the clocks, because that 2-3 minutes, what it really does, what we got it going, makes a difference, because we go on by computer, everything is set up in a computer, and a computer upstairs, which whole studio is run by, say it is 7:15, computer already down there is 7:17, 2-3 minutes faster. So we program it, meeting was 25 minutes, that goes by the computer upstairs, so it goes program is 7 o'clock to start, 25 minutes, so we shut off and switch over at 7:25 on a computer time, even though this thing was here. So I will ask the secretary to make sure those clocks are set with computer, because
But
I
aren't
think,
you watching it upstairs while it's,
yeah, we can see it, yeah. So it was play, I forgot what it was, 59 minutes or something like that, and 40,
55, 24.
something in 24 seconds. So we get the regular, so should have went that time. You know, but I'll double check it, and if you need it, I'll play it again.
well, no, I'm just
Yeah,
telling
thank
you
you.
that this is,
Yeah, yes,
you
Jim.
know,
The live broadcast of last Thursday's selectmen's meeting, the first portion of it, we had a test pattern across the screen. I called upstairs and I spoke with you personally about the absence of a video and audio portion for live broadcast. You said there was I believe you said there was some kind of equipment glitch. Did you find out what that problem was?
Yes,
What was it, please?
cable.
The cable.
One of the cable burned out.
I see.
I was sitting, we quickly went up and set up the camera here to tape it. And I came down and apparently I had one brain something come up to me and said, I gotta go check that cable. So I took the cable out, put in new cable, and a picture came out. Must have been with the surge, because that time that week we had those storms and we lost the power. It must have been one of those cables. It's just like your computer cable jack plugged in. One of those prongs must have got power charged and just went. And that's what happened. I couldn't figure out in the beginning. Then I sat here. There must have been brain surge. I went up and boom. That's what I came down and said, we're going live now. So,
Back to the contract, Igor.
but
Back to our contract.
yeah,
Last one was for 10 years.
yeah.
You represent CAT and the community, and you present information to the board to approve or disapprove. Those 10 years, what did you request from Comcast to assist you and the community running CAT? Example, training, equipment, broadcast? What did you, year by year, or however you did it, what did you request from Comcast?
Well, the Comcast from us set it up the upstairs in the studio part that we can broadcast live from the schools. They needed a special equipment, little box, which was, I think it was $3,500 for that, just a little box. So we requested and make sure we got a live connectivity in the high school and Warren Community Elementary School. In order to get that, they did that. Rest of it, for training, they don't do much training. Equipment, only equipment that is for broadcast like a live, and that was kind of done. We have a good relationship with the people that working with Comcast, and the guy says, well, I'm gonna see if I can get that equipment for you as a test equipment, so there is no charge for you guys up here.
Well, my
Because
membership-
Comcast doesn't supply any equipment right now.
You purchase it from the money you
We
receive.
purchase through,
Then I'm gonna back up one more time.
Yeah.
Over the last 8 years, I've heard you, 6 out of 8 years, complain about lousy equipment, old equipment, I need to update. Why aren't we getting it done?
we did get it done. Everything is up to par.
Everything is up to par. That's
Correct.
being documented right now.
Everything
Okay.
is up to par.
Okay.
We just spent, perfect example, when the Windows 7 went out of business, we had to buy a brand new computer part that runs the whole thing, that is compatible with Windows 10. Just for that, it was $35,000. and there was no charge to the town. We pay from our own budget that we get from you people paying the fee, 74 cents or percentage, whatever your bill is on it. So there was no charge to taxpayers in Warren. All the equipment, all the tapes, everything that we do, we have to purchase out of our own budget. That was one of it. The other one was cameras. Those cameras were installed right here because there used to be no remotely controlled. We used to bring the camera here and go on. All those cameras up here and all the audio was installed here. Same thing was done in Quabog, and same thing was done in Warren Community Elementary School. Those expenses, that was probably last 4 years or 3 years, that's probably around, from top of my head, I probably would say close to $50,000.
So we're talking a 10-year time frame, not 2 years, 3 years. 10 years ago, 8 years ago, you signed it. 10 years have gone by.
Yeah.
Did you get your money's worth out of Comcast?
What do you mean by get
It-
money or not? The Comcast doesn't mean nothing.
No.
I
Did
don't
you
get
get-
nothing from Comcast.
Did you get from Comcast what you need to do your business?
Comcast does not supply any equipment, they just supply the money.
Money.
They give us enough money to
Let's
operate.
use the money instead of what,
They give us enough money to operate.
you have enough money.
I do have enough money to operate a budget, yearly budget, through the subscriber's fee.
And how much is that?
It's either 74 cents or it's a percentage of your bill.
2%.
Mine comes out, I think was $3.99 a month.
What's the percentage?
Yeah, that's what it is. So it's on percentage, and we negotiate that percentage. We could go up to 5% allowed by federal government. But we didn't want to do that to people because it was gonna be, $5, $7. Some people were complaining that just the basic cable they get is $13 or $14, and they were complaining that was too much. So we didn't want to go 5%. We said, well, we compromise those, that percentage. And the town gets the money from from signing the contract with Comcast too. So used to be, I think is gonna be my third or fourth contract. Used to be that you go into Comcast and say, we need this part of equipment, we need this, and they will give you that. Now they don't wanna do it starting from this contract and probably 2 years earlier. They don't wanna do nothing with equipment. They will take care of all the equipment from the studio when it goes out through the power lines to the koi hill. Any equipment we got, DVD players, TVs, microphones, anything like that, we have to take care of ourselves, pay for it ourselves. From, just like your home, from that cable that goes out, they will take care of it, the cable goes to your TV or whatever. After your TV and whatever, that's your problem. It's the same thing what we have to do. They will take care to bring it in and bring it out, but all the equipment in the studio that needs to be to go out or bring it in, we have to pay for it, out of our own budget. That's what we get for contract, that's all we get.
And
I
that
don't know if
contract
that
is-
answers you, but
Not really, but I can exchange money for equipment is the terminology that we're using here. And you're telling me you have a budget to take care of your needs, yet over the years, I've heard you complain constantly, I need better and new equipment. Now you're telling me you're across the board on top of the line.
yes, because we just updated it 3 years ago when the Windows 10 came in, which is, I think was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. We had to update all the equipment because it was not comparable with what we were running. So we had to spend that money to update, to do that. So equipment upstairs in a studio to go out is,
So that
What
would
is
have
gonna
been
be?
shown in the yearly report.
pardon, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Only thing right now, because of downstairs, we updated it so we can broadcast live from upstairs, we're gonna have to buy new cameras. Because the old cameras and connectivity from downstairs to go live is not comparable. Only one camera out of 3 we got is comparable. But we like to use 2 cameras to do different use. So we're gonna buy, and those are probably $3,500 to $4,000 cameras each, so
And that'll happen when?
soon. If you want it, you want me to put a mark on it, I can tell you, say it by September we will have it. Okay. If you want me to put a date on it, but, you know, could be delays on it too with, and I'm gonna use the famous thing, COVID, shipping, blah, 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 blah. You know, but that's all we need right now to answer you about equipment. Rest of it is, let me, go ahead, Rick.
Yes, hi, Michael Burrell here. A few questions. So just so I understand that, so when the customers pay their Comcast bill, that percentage of money that comes out, obviously when you make the payment to Comcast, and then Comcast then what, on a quarterly basis or whatever it is, then takes that
Check
money
to
from
us.
each customer and puts it into the town bank account?
No, what the customer, Comcast every 3 months, every quarterly, send
Yeah.
us the check. And that gets put into the advisory committee cable account, we got a
Oh, okay.
special account.
Okay, so at that point in time, that money is then property of the town, correct?
Technically, probably, it is property of the town, but
Well,
because we, town signs a contract. So technically, town, it's,
Right. Well, the reason why I'm asking the question is, right, if the money is paid to Comcast and on a quarterly basis, they pay the town and it goes into the town's bank account, I'm assuming that it's under the town's tax ID number of the bank account that the money is under. So the money is then property of the town of your commission or the committee. The other question I had
I think that, let me just do it. I think the account is under a use only for expenses to running Channel 12. That's how it's set up, that's how it's worded.
Okay,
That money, Board of Selectmen or anybody cannot use that money for anything else.
yeah, I know, I would understand that,
So,
yeah.
it's just that probably that's like how government functions, that has to be set up, special account with special.
Yeah, okay. And the next thing that there's been some confusion on, so in the past, when I had first met you, probably quite many years ago, you had said at several times on video at a selectmen's meeting that you worked for Comcast, and I ended up finding out that you actually are a paid employee of the town of Warren, and you're actually, your wages, your W-2 wages, are they paid out of that same pot of money, or is there a separate account that covers your payroll for your staff?
No, to answer you, we do not work for Comcast. I don't think I ever said that, but if you say so, so let it be that I said that I work for Comcast.
Yeah.
We are elected, or actually appointed every 3 years to serve on a committee.
Okay,
The job, so to speak, is voluntary, which includes the stipend on it. A stipend is, and you get paid for whatever hours you put in.
right,
You do the basketball game, get paid for the hours too.
yeah,
And that comes from the same account what you asked
Yeah.
earlier.
okay,
It doesn't come from town of Warren, it comes for the WCAT special account. that we
right,
set up.
okay. So since you're an employee of the town of Warren, because obviously you get taxes taken out, who directly do you report to? So if you're the chairman, who is your direct boss? Obviously, in this case, it's not Comcast, I'm assuming it wouldn't be town council, so it should be the selectmen, is that correct?
My boss is a board of selectmen.
Okay. So if there was ever a complaint against either WCAT or any of your staff, that complaint should then be directed to the Board of Selectmen, because the Board of Selectmen is also, as I understand it, the personnel board for the town. So if there was any investigation or complaints or misconduct or whatever, that would be the selectman that should be responsible for this board, is that correct?
Well, any complaint that comes in, it comes in either directly to me, which we know that, and I appreciate it, and I told the people that anything goes wrong or something happens, don't be afraid to call me.
Right.
And if I'm not available, I have a selectman secretary told me, Igor, I had a complaint, I got a complaint in writing, or I had people call me, something went wrong or whatever it was.
Right.
I says, okay, thank you, and we will try to fix it. So it goes both ways. I develop, I want to say, even though complaints sometimes, I don't like him, but I develop good relationship with some people here that, and I encourage them to call me and let me know right away so we can fix it if there is a problem.
Right, okay.
And the only thing I'm stressing on that I'm trying to, whoever complains or whoever gives us positive, I says, we're not here 24/7. We're here only when we know when we have to be or something like that. So I appreciate it when the people call me either home or board of selectmen and she tells me right away. And if anybody, those people want to speak up, they tell you 9 out of 10 times I jump on it and try to fix it as fast as I can.
Right.
Sometimes our hands are tied because I call it, we operate with Valley Communications. They are running most of the equipment upstairs because, like I said, Comcast does not want to do anything with the equipment. And the guy cannot come and he says, well, okay, I'll be there. Like this Thursday, we didn't go out live. And I called him 7 o'clock or 7:30 or 6:30 that was. And I said, hey, can you come up? What's wrong? How do I fix it? He says, well, I can't come now. I can't come Friday. I'll be here Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. Well, then I called him Saturday morning. I said, hey, Mike, I got it. It's fixed, so don't come in. But that's sometimes it takes a couple days because we can't get
Right,
those
yeah.
people to come in, right away.
And then the other thing that I had addressed at the, probably 2 or 3 years ago now at the annual town meeting was, there was a request that I think I believe, there was somebody put a Warren article saying that a lot of citizens felt that there were, I don't know if maybe they weren't civil rights violations, but there were some issues that people had concerns with, because you only film the Board of Selectmen's meetings, and I've asked you at least 10 times, why do you film the Board of Selectmen's meetings? And your answer is because the selectmen tell me to do so. I've then gone to the planning board many times, I've gone to the Conservation Commission and other commissions, and I say, why doesn't Igor come film or video your meetings? And all of them had said, well, we've asked him to come, but he just says he only wants to do the selectmen's meetings. So for I don't know how many years now, I've been doing similar to what you do, taking that role by using my video equipment for the citizens of this town, videoing, putting it on YouTube, because there's been hundreds of complaints, including people complaining to the selectmen that, oh, I missed a Conservation Commission meeting. Well, there's no way to see it because nobody films it. So they go to my YouTube channel and they watch it. Now, how this connects to you is, I've approached you several times and wanted to work in partnership, and I said, why don't you put your Board of Selectmen's meetings on YouTube? And you were absolutely against that. I also had a separate conversation with David DeFriends, who David tried to convince you to do that, and you didn't want to do that either. So I'm totally confused. So this board wants to help the citizens of the community. You certainly haven't helped the citizens of the community by absolutely just abandoning all the other meetings. And all it is, and I don't mean to be, I'm not upset, I'm just explaining my frustration from what people explain to me of the service that I do by putting them on YouTube. If you miss a meeting, you can watch it. And then you and I have had problems where I did complain about you, because every time I missed a selectmen's meeting, I had to pay $15 for a DVD that you had me write to the scholarship fund, that then the town says, oh no, we shouldn't be doing that, that was wrong, you have to write it to the town of Warren. And I complained about that. And I also called the state office, and they said that you have no solicitation permit for the scholarship fund, the checks that I was writing to. So that leaves me completely baffled. As far as I see this, if you want to move forward, Comcast should be here. You should approach, this is just my personal opinion, you should be approaching Comcast and saying, we need to fix the rebroadcasting equipment. We need to fix the equipment we have that we're filming with. If you don't have the resources, you should get the resources. And as of right now, 10 years have gone by and you haven't gotten any resources to fix anything because all these rebroadcasts have had an absolutely broken, audio missing, things missing, and I've complained 10 times in writing to the selectmen, you absolutely do nothing. So that's why a lot of people are upset. And I think Comcast should hear about this because I'm pretty sure Comcast would love to come in and help fix things, and I really hope they do. So I don't understand why my complaints went nowhere. There's still been no explanation why I'm paying $15 to a scholarship fund that there's no record of. So,
You all done?
I have more, but I'll let other people speak.
Well, I'm sure I'm gonna try to answer for your thing. You are twisting a lot of words, and you are twisting a lot of truth. We never said that we were ordered by Board of Selectmen only do it selectmen meeting. I
It's
never
right-
said that.
It's on 5 of my videos.
Well, Kevin, you can show me the video, we never said that. Number two, we do when we ask to do the things. For example, if planning board send us email and they say we would like to have that meeting televised, we gladly do it. If we can't, then we done that. School ask us for anything. Board of Health ask us. If they send us email and a date and a time, we never refuse once yet. So your comments are not true or you're mistaken completely.
Well, I'm not lying, trust me.
Wow, we got a people that been here that they know that we did those meetings. So, you haven't been maybe at those meetings, but we done it, and that's not true what you're saying.
It is true.
That's part of it, but that's complaint. I allowed you to complain so you can do it. We're supposed to talk about a contract, but we take a complaint on that too. About YouTube, okay? We do not work about YouTube. I already explained that about, 5, 6, 7 months ago, there was another push, same as yours, to try to get the Board of Selectmen meeting, or any kind of meeting, on the YouTube, if we do it. I don't know if you missed it, but I think there was 2 meetings showing when Becky was here. What we did, that as an advisory committee, we taped the meetings, we record them on DVD, we supply the meeting DVD to Board of Selectmen. I was working with Becky at that time to help out. It was YouTube channel was created. YouTube meetings, when Becky was here, was showing, the Selectmen's meeting was showing on Town of Warren website on the YouTube. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I watched both of them.
There you go.
I hear
So you can't say there was nothing done. It's been done. So I would ask you, use your words carefully and bring it to reality, not 5, 7, 8 years ago. With the Board of Selectmen change administrative secretary, we're working on it to try to bring it, they're working on it to bring it back again. Go ahead, Dave.
Can I answer, Igor? So as far as with the YouTube, okay, what happened is the transition between Becky and we had it started, it was starting to take off, but then the transition, getting Priscilla in there, getting her trained, and then we fell into the budgetary season. We had to really work hard in the budgets and get all that done, and it just became so overwhelming with everything. And she wasn't up to par with doing the YouTube videos, and that wasn't a thing that we were like, okay, this is a priority. We had to take care of the budget, all that other stuff first. So that was the important thing. The YouTube thing is gonna come back. The meetings are gonna be put on there. There needs to be the transparency and for people to watch it. Just right now, with everything going on, and now Priscilla just left us. So we're without a secretary in the office again, and we're interviewing, trying to get that position filled again. And hopefully, they'll be able to do all the YouTube stuff, get videos put on there. Igor was good with anytime we said, hey, get us the video so we can get on there. Also, with meetings for the planning board, when we had in-person meetings, we did request, and they did fulfill those requests. So that did happen. So that's my stance.
I
on
can
that.
throw in more to that. We cannot do it under the federal laws. We cannot just go in and take a site and say, okay, because there is two different opinions for that kind of meeting, whatever issues are, oh, because there's a lot of, we're gonna do this meeting just to show it, there's, pros and cons or whatever. We can't do that. Same thing as we cannot do it any advertising. We do it for non-profit organizations. So if any department ever asks us to do anything, tape it, meeting, we always done it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, why, yes. what are
I
they
can't
supposed to
answer the
ask
why
you?
departments don't ask us, but I'm not gonna
Well, why
walk
don't you
in
just film every meeting to make it consecutive?
because we not asked.
Well, that's exactly what you told me 6 years ago, but we don't film meetings because nobody asks. Well, instead, so if nobody asks, you don't film anything, is that exactly what you're explaining to us in
That's probably
public?
what, no, that's what we're gonna do.
So if we're not asked, we don't film anything, I see what I see how it is,
No.
sure.
I mean, go ahead, Beth.
Isn't the problem with staffing? I mean, sometimes you can't even record or televise a Board of Selectmen's meeting because you have nobody to staff it.
It happened a couple times, we didn't have it.
More than a couple times.
Yeah, we didn't have it, we had it. But
So
it,
how many people does it take to do a in-studio recording or?
if, it would take a minimum 3 people to do it if it's done here in this room. Minimum 3 people to do it there. And that's all we got right now, minimum, you see it. Usually we depend on high school kids that we got as students, but with COVID, no school, they all went out, got a little bit job, so they don't really want to come in here. They're used to, when they were school, they wanted to come in and make a little extra change for themselves. So I'm hoping September, when the schools go back to normal, we can recruit more kids to do it. So, and, go ahead, anybody else? Yes,
Maybe
Jim.
pay more.
How many subscribers do we have between Warren and West Warren for the Channel 12?
How many what?
How many cable subscribers do we have in town?
Well, I really don't know. I'm estimating, I could estimate it, but I really don't know. Because I never thought it's a part of our job to know how many subscribers. Comcast sends us every 3 months check, and they put it there, so.
How
The
would I get that?
subscribers could change, there probably isn't gonna change that much, maybe by 10, 20, 30, 50, because people are getting cable, dropping cable, different tiers of cable got. I can find out for you, I'll call the Comcast and find out on an average how many subscribers we got. Lisa, write it up to go. To
And how would I get that information, Igor?
Comcast?
No, I posed a question to you, how many subscribers do we have for the Comcast service? You said you're gonna find out. How will you get that information back to me? Should I reach you in 2 weeks, or?
Okay, if you wanna give me 2 weeks, I will.
Okay.
I will try today, is it May 27th, 4 months? I will try to get that information and announce that
Okay.
on a selectmen's meeting somewhere around that time, okay?
Thank you.
I will do that, yeah. Yeah, because, the lady, it's Eileen Leahy, I don't know if you guys maybe talk, because that's someone we notified that we're starting the process of new contract negotiations. Go ahead, sir.
I think that's one of the things we need to consider when negotiating that contract, as far as like your guys' budget, is what it's gonna take, you know, making more access to these videos, especially online. Everybody I know has gotten rid of cable, between Netflix, Hulu, and all those streaming services. I mean, my mother-in-law used to pay $230 a month for cable and internet. She dropped the cable part, pays $60 a month and another 20 to get everything she got on cable, but she loses the local access. And, you know, especially a lot of people my age, we just can't afford cable, so, you know, but then we lose all that, you know, we don't get to see any of the meetings, anything like that. So I think that's something that needs to be considered, you know, what would it take to get to that? Whether it's, you know, negotiating more money for the budget out of Comcast.
Only, we don't have any leverage or any input, the pricing that Comcast charge you for tier,
Right,
whatever
I
tier.
understand that, but obviously if
We
we
can-
were to make it more accessible online, would probably cost you guys more out of your budget.
No, because I made a couple notes here. Anybody that Comcast got existing line there, in other words, a cable running, anybody that wants it, they are 150 feet from that pole or that line, the Comcast will install it for nothing. Just whatever installation fee. In other words, they run it from the pole to your house, installation fee is there. In the contract, at the end of this contract, the Comcast is obligated to finish Denham Road, Brook Road, Boston Post Road, Patrick Road, and Hines Road. That's what we negotiated for them. They got a certain criteria. They gotta have, like say, 25 households per square mile
Right.
or whatever. Those areas at that time didn't have that, didn't meet that criteria. But just try and negotiate, because we had people coming in and says, we wanna have a Comcast, we wanna have a cable there. So we negotiated, you know, push up, and they agreed to do that even though they didn't meet the criteria on that. We can negotiate, try to get the more money for the town. Okay, as a last contract, town was getting certain amount of money from Comcast for privilege to award the contract to Comcast, even though there's nobody else that will be here. And that's how town was, and we get operating budget on that
Right.
fee down there. So we can try to get as much as we can from them to get it straight to the town. Say it, I think I was talking to Stanley, I think we were saying, hey, why don't we shoot for $10,000 a month to the town? Or $10,000 a year or whatever. So at the 10-year contract, town expires, town will receive for them $100,000 or more money for them to the town, and that goes strictly to the town. Town
Yeah.
can spend it on anything they want, you know.
Yeah, I know, I was talking to
Yeah.
one of the West Brookfield selectmen,
Yeah.
that he was saying, you know, they, with Comcast or Charter, they're getting 70,000, I don't know,
Yeah.
their 10-year contract. or-
Town of Warren was getting
60.
Town of Warren, I think that I don't know when it was Brookfield negotiating. I know there were negotiations earlier, a couple of years ago. So I think Town of Warren was getting $60,000 from Comcast straight on. The first one was, I think, $33,000 was first 6 months, and then it was split out on a monthly basis. We can negotiate it if threaten them or whatever to get them more money. Town of Springfield, but that goes, you know, by users too, that's how they do it. Springfield's getting, I guess, over $1 million, more than $1 million, you know, for them. So Comcast is not poor, they got the money. So, you know, we can try to push it so it goes to town, and town will spread it whatever department or whatever, how they want to use it, you know. So, we can only get more service. I think we negotiated, the seniors had a discount too with them, you know. All the municipalities get free cable, the basic free cable. And matter of fact, I got a letter today, she couldn't attend the meeting from the senior center. And it says, Igor, I would like to have our internet included in a contract with your free cable, with our free cable, as it is free to surrounding senior centers. Comcast has told us that they'll be happy to do it, and we put that in the contract. Try to negotiate.
I mean, that's something, so
That's
Comcast,
$88.40 they pay in senior center paying a month for just to have the internet, so we can throw that in. Yeah.
I don't see why not. Comcast has a program for low-income families
Yeah.
that $10 a month internet. So, you know, that could be something we could look at in the contract, you know, for seniors or something like that, because they're not normally in that, because you have to be on, I think it's a school lunch program or something. So only parents with kids qualify for that program, but that's something we should maybe look into the contract that, you know, can they offer that?
If that's your suggestion, we put it up and ask him. That's what we want to have an input from you people. Any suggestions that you think we should put in and recommend to Board of Selectmen, and then from there negotiations come true. Believe me, they are very cheap. They don't want to give you nothing. This is, like I said, I think my third or fourth contract with them. And last contract, we threatened them, forget it, we don't give you a contract, and they're obligated by law to keep it for 1 year. And they got a little bit scared, and they give us something more. But
Well,
they know it's a monopoly. They know there's nobody here. They know
What
that.
happens if we don't, like, keep refusing to sign the contract? What happens at that point?
Then they're gonna be, same thing will be going for 1 year, and they're gonna try to bring the federal meditator, federal people, and they're gonna try to put it just like any union or anything like that will be.
Okay, so it just keeps progressing until
Some
eventually
cities,
somebody
some
agrees.
towns go through negotiations for 2 years,
Okay,
3 years, you know, and, you know, they know they got you. They know they got you, especially the people, businesses, because right now, the Xfinity, the internet is the fastest you can get, you know? And they know that that's what the people want it. A lot of people, like you said, probably, you get into the streaming, but I bet you may probably keep in this the Wi-Fi, especially in town of Warren, where we don't have any cell tower reception
Yeah.
very good. So the Wi-Fi is only through that, you know, cable box you got there through your house, so. You know, we try and we do it. Anything you give people, she's writing, we will put it up. Go ahead, Peter.
Igor, right now, I know we were talking about trying to get help for you, more volunteers. And I know the school, you put it to the school and ask for volunteers through the school. But does the school give them any kind of credit towards, as a senior, you know what I'm saying? I mean, could this something, maybe we should talk to the superintendent about, because that would be more of an incentive to get some students. If you're gonna spend your time doing this, you get educated in the field doing this, I says, they should get some kind of credit for doing it besides being paid. That would be a bonus on top of it. But the pay isn't really all that to brag about anyway, so.
It used to be, I remember the time when we tried to do the news broadcast from the school, live like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock when they come in, whatever's happening. And I know they were giving half a credit to the student. I don't know if they do it now.
That's what I'm-
I will check it out, please, write it up, please.
Can I say
So I would-
something?
yeah.
I don't know how long ago it was, but when, I don't even know if you were chairman yet, but I remember going up to the school. Do you know where the guidance used to be, department used to be? They were gonna put a studio, we were gonna work with the students. That went away, never happened. all of us get $15 an hour,
Right.
okay? That's our stipend when we work hours, okay? We have advertised on Channel 12 for not just students, but for adults, and nobody comes forward.
But I really think that,
The bottom line is, they used to give him half a credit.
that's what I'm saying, maybe we
Right.
should look into this to see, maybe the ball got dropped on this somewhere.
Right.
And just to revive it, to be sure that they're not putting that as part, maybe a half a credit's not good enough, maybe one credit.
Yeah.
So,
I
do
would
something.
appro-
I mean, you took gym in school, you got credit for it, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a lot better than gym.
I would approach Board of Selectmen, Superintendent, and we will see if we can do something about it.
Okay.
They-
So, Peter, we did talk about this a little bit, and we did discuss bringing Brett into the conversation, because they have a nursing program, they have started some programs over at the school, and one of the things we discussed is getting this back into the school and getting volunteers and ways to do that, and we'd have to get Brett in here
Right.
and discuss it with them, sit down.
Right.
And I know the selectmen would be interested in, if we want to organize a meeting all together, bring in, Brett and the principals, and come up with something, maybe a credit program or something that they could offer.
Well,
They'd be best suited on answering what they can do to
Right.
kind of get this out there, so.
I will send I will send the email or letter, we will send the email or letter to school. The next meeting, say it is September, I'll ask him to attend that.
Okay.
So, superintendent or whoever, a media person that is there, and see if we can come up with something to the meeting and do that.
Find out where
I
the
think
problem is.
that's a good idea, yeah,
At least find out, maybe there's something a little bit more they could do.
yeah.
When I went to school at Quabog, they did not have a video program. I learned video at Stick.
That's-
And just so you know, we have 3 former students from Quabog that have got jobs in the communication field because they put us down for working with us. And we're very proud.
Well, let's say, we'll get the conversation rolling, would be a good idea.
Yeah, we gotta get it, but it's, COVID screwed up us a lot, because we never were that thin. We never were that thin, and my theory always was, it's better have enough than no, because not every time you can do it. We used to do it in basketball, I got you, field hockey games, soccer games, but we got so thin with the COVID coming that we didn't have enough people to send it, and some of them working, some of them there. Go ahead.
This is just general discussion, not so much contract. Is there any way that maybe spell check could be used more frequently, or, how to use grammar correctly? There's so many mistakes, and I think the one that ticks me off the most is the ampersand is not a letter, it is a symbol. So when they use it out of context, I mean, I have a problem with it, maybe because, I did well in English, or I know better. And I'm just wondering if there's something that you can do. I mean,
Every time we put something on the board, whoever we have a kids doing that, and I don't have the time to check it, but don't forget, I'm a foreigner too, I'm a Polish, so my spelling is not that good. I ask him, I said, make sure you check your spelling, because there is a check spelling on a computer. Oh, yes, Mr. Kuprycz, we got it. Well, then I go home and look, and he's looking, oh, Jesus, all I can do, we're gonna try to
yeah,
do it the best, again, But please remember, those, a lot of those guys, those are high school kids. You cannot just,
well, they should be better.
you just cannot
They should
grab
be
it
better.
and say, hey,
It doesn't look good for Quabog when the students can't
Well,
spell.
it isn't even that, when you spell check, it doesn't,
Not all
if
the
it's a real
time.
word, it doesn't come out as a bad word.
No,
It-
it
No.
doesn't.
When
But
they
they should
do it-
know the context
when
of
they
the
do the
sentence.
program-
Some
Programming
people,
upstairs.
I wanna say don't.
They think that they're so good with those computers that they go.
Well, that could be
And I
true,
gotta
yeah.
look at it and say,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You miss a one dot on it, one period on it when you're programming on a computer, and everything goes. And that's when I get a call, hey, you go, you got a blue screen there, nothing there.
But
Well,
somebody
because
should
she
prove
forgot
it.
one dot.
Exactly. So
So
somebody should
I
prove
know,
it. But they should know.
I gotta check it, I gotta do it, we gotta do the better job. You guys are right on that,
Yeah,
you know,
apologize for
it
that.
is, you know. Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so just one thing regarding the contract. So is there anything in the contract that has to do with outages that makes them, like, for example, like National Grid, if there's a power outage, they have their own policies or contracts with the town that says, okay, we must restore power at this specific time. I know over the past couple months, there's been some Comcast outages. Some have been for 2 or 3 days where residents don't have it. So I was just wondering, is in the contract or in the future contract, could you add something saying, you know, if there's large-scale outages, you have 12 hours to get this fixed, or you're gonna be fined, or you have, you know, something to that effect. I think there needs to be, and maybe there is something in there, maybe there's, I don't know what it says, but there should be some type of accountability.
It is,
Because I actually use Charter, and Charter has, when I get my bill, there's a statement in there once in a while that says if we have an outage and you have no internet service for 24 hours, they refund you $30 for every 2 hours that it doesn't come back on. So they go above and beyond to saying, well, if we screw up and there's an outage, well, we owe you a refund. And I think Comcast, because I see all the time, there's lots and lots of outages, because with Charter, for me, I've had 3 outages in probably 7 years. And people here have probably had 100 outages in 12 months, which is totally ridiculous. You know, and some of it might be wind related, a tree, but other times it might just be a bright sunny day and there's still outages, which I don't understand. How can there be outages on a bright sunny day? And it's obviously not a Verizon issue, it's not a National Grid issue, it's always a Comcast issue. So there needs to be higher accountability to hold them accountable for the people that pay those bills. Because, right, obviously, if you pay that bill as a utility, you want that service. If you're not getting the service, then that defeats what you're paying for. So that's, another suggestion I have, is there should
it
be.
is in a contract,
There should be.
it is in this
Okay.
contract. It is,
Could- at
page
some point-
33 there, section 7.4, service interruption. In event that licensee service to any subscriber is completely interrupted for 24 or more hours, licensee will grant such a subscriber a prorate credit or rebate.
Oh, okay.
So it is in a contract, but it's up to each subscriber to
Oh, okay.
follow up on it. So that contract,
I didn't know
it is
that.
there.
If you don't mind, at a future meeting, would you be able to photocopy that page? And
You can ask Board of Selectmen and go up and
Oh, okay.
they will photocopy.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is there a way we can get a copy of the?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be right now, but at some point in the
Yeah.
future, yeah.
I'll try to do my best. We will ask to get a copy. You gotta put it in writing. So send the email
You gotta
to the
pay.
Board of
Do
Selectmen.
you
We got
have,
10 days to respond on it.
do you have a copy of that right now?
No, Stanley got a
I
copy.
only,
You pay.
the contract consisted of 51 pages.
Yeah,
And I went through and picked out 8 pages that I thought were relevant to what the people in
You
the
had to
community
pay
would
for
be
it.
interested in. And I'll give you a copy,
Well,
I
I'd
have
like to
extra copies
request,
here.
Yeah.
But if the town
You
official
broached
asks
upon
for it,
some
it's
of the
free.
subject material already.
Well,
I'm gonna give this to you,
An email.
and you can review.
I got my whole contract
Well,
here.
yeah, but I highlighted,
Yeah.
I got 8 pages out of the 51.
52 pages
These items, I
times,
think,
I don't
are
know,
pertinent to the
14
people that
bucks.
want to
Okay,
have
all right, so we just bring it up next
Yeah.
time,
Stanley,
yeah?
did you have the copy?
You wanna,
Take one right there.
you wanna read it to anybody?
No,
But that's
no,
any
I don't want to
pages,
get
yeah.
that involved.
Okay, we will read it and then bring it up. and we would discuss it, say we have another meeting,
I have
next
copies
meeting
if
in
you like.
September, and we would discuss it, with Stanley was running up
Why
right
are
here.
you waiting till September?
Because like I said, we got it from senior center, very request, that's one of them, definitely we're gonna do it for senior center, try to get the free access, internet
Yeah, why are
access
you
for them
waiting
too.
till September?
And let's see what you put up when we do it, and we just put in, you people will be informed, say it, we have a meeting in September, then we finally gonna try to get maybe a third meeting to finalize all the requests, and you people will be involved in it. We will give you a copy with all the requests finalized, what we're gonna try to present to Board of Selectmen. And then it's up to Board of Selectmen calling Comcast, which I'll be involved in that meeting too, but that's probably gonna be closed meeting. And then, but we will represent you to try to get as much as we can and try to steer Selectmen to try to get all the requests possible that we can get what people wanted to in the contract.
Another question, Igor. Is there any way Comcast could do a town survey between Warren and West Warren? And each person that subscribes to Comcast, turn in a little flyer, informational flyer. Do you use CAT? Do you watch it? We don't really know if anybody's using it, outside of the complaining people that you have here.
Sure. I mean, we get it, I imagine, I mean, if somebody wants it, follow up what you're saying, if somebody wants it not to pay the franchise fee or that, they say, I don't want to pay it because I don't want to have a Channel 12, or I don't watch it. I mean, they can send a letter to Comcast and they would just,
They don't know that.
well, I mean, we can announce it somehow, some way. I mean, it's to people's discretion, you know, I mean,
But see, Warren.
they don't have to watch it. The thing is, I think what you're saying, trying to say it is, the Channel 12 is part of the basic channels, which you pay, I don't even know because I don't get a basic, $14 or $15 or $17 a month. So I don't know, anybody got a basic, just a basic?
I pay for basic, it's $40 down the.
$40 now? Oh, that's what it used to be, yeah. So that gives you channels from 2 to what, 2 to the 14 or 2 to 16, and then whatever they got. The tier, that's what they call them, tier. So in other words, it doesn't make a difference if you want to watch Channel 12 or you don't want to watch, you're going to get it. Same thing as you get it on the sport channels or foreign channel or something. They got their tier, build in, take it or leave it. I think that's what it is. So it doesn't make a difference on that. But maybe you can opt out and say, I don't want to pay.
I don't think so.
Well, you know, that's probably the best. Go ahead.
Ware watches Warren too, so.
Yeah,
I
it
just
goes
want
to
you to know-
Ware,
I
it
know
goes
you
to
know they're
Hardwick.
not-
You're right.
I want you to know there's
Yeah.
a portion that, because I know too many people that watch
Yeah.
our meetings in Ware, so.
Yeah, and they wanted it. Hardwick wanted it.
I want you to know, so it's not
Hardwick gets
just
it too,
Warren.
and the people watching it. You wouldn't believe it. Go ahead, Lee.
Just so you all know, when you're complaining about, not getting stuff from Warren and Hardwick were the only two towns that the FCC took Springfield channels away. We were the only two towns.
Yeah.
And it wasn't our doing it, wasn't us doing the
We-
contract, it
we
was
already did-
FCC.
we already
Well, I
addressed
just
that.
want to know that Hardwick was another town that got the same thing.
We already addressed that, so the reason what it is, so. But, go ahead.
But why are you waiting till September? I mean, it's April now, we're gonna wait till September for.
Well, we got
another-
2 years. We just doing this meeting because we have to do it. They notify us that we have to start a process. Okay? That come from federal government letter,
Right,
commission.
right.
They notified us that we should start process of discussing new contract. And that's what I said.
September.
We're going through the stages with the public, you know, I mean, you want, I just thought the time summer, after summer is over, people get to thinking we started now. We're gonna do it in September. We got all the way to 23, you know, to do that. But we are required to do it, and Board of Selectmen send a letter to the Comcast already that we're starting the process. We're required to do it. We didn't even have to do this one. We could have waited year before or something like that, because they're saying 30 to 36 months in advance, you gotta start doing it, so,
Maybe I'll be different.
yes.
So just one question, when Warren Hardwick got taken away, that she was just discussing, do you have a copy of that paperwork? Who would have a copy of that paperwork of the FCC taking that away?
You
Would
can
that be the
contact
board, or
Comcast.
would that be the selectman's office that would have that?
Contact Comcast.
So
They
that-
the ones that switched
So the
it.
FCC sent that to Comcast, and then Comcast notified you, the board?
I would say the
Or
easiest,
notify the
I would
select-
say the easiest way
Yeah.
to will be, if you really wanna pursue this thing, contact Comcast and ask him why, when they took those local channels, per order of who, and if they got a letter from FCC, you like to see that letter.
Right, exactly, it would
So,
explain. it would
all you gotta
explain-
do is call the
Yeah, it would
Comcast.
show who initiated it, and that's
It
exactly what
has
I'm
to
looking
be
for.
FCC initiated to
Okay.
Comcast. Comcast just within, like you said, computers, but switch the button and that's it.
Oh, okay.
And they notify us saying, you know, May 1st, 19, whatever it was,
Oh,
the
okay.
channels will be
You all have
gone.
this, okay.
And you get that channel. you
Okay.
know? So that's
okay.
probably,
So at least now I know where to ask for those records.
it always starts with the
Yeah.
Comcast. Always starts there or FCC.
Yeah, okay,
Go ahead, Dave.
thank you.
Igor, do you have that section where it's reimbursement again?
Yeah, I got it here.
Can I just see that?
Yep. Hold on, now I gotta find it to you.
Can I just take your book for a second?
I didn't mark the day, but, what did I say? Okay, there it is.
That's your question.
Oops.
I'm
Right
just
here.
gonna make a quick copy, okay?
Right there. Yep.
Hey, Igor, it's on your cable bill, there's a phone number,
Right.
which I used before to get a hold of people.
Right,
It
right.
was really easy
Oh, no, I'm just looking.
using that. Yes, they gave me, they had to connect me with several people, but
Yeah.
eventually, down the chain of command, I did get somebody
Yeah.
that talked to me,
Oh,
that
okay.
knew us. So, I started with the phone bill.
It's
I
just
mean, my
like,
cable bill, excuse me, cable bill.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
it's just like this meeting. It comes from this, goes to Board of Selectmen, and it goes to them, you know? That's how they operate. They were instructed to do it,
Yeah.
they did it. They didn't ask me or you or her, hey, you know, we closed to Springfield, we want it. They just said, that's how we got it.
No saying, you start right, you finish right.
Right. Well, and we tried. You remember how many signatures we had? It went to Smaller, it went to Neil. You know, people, I think you were involved in it. Remember that beginning, the letter? Suddenly, go ahead.
I remember, you know, you talk about Richie O'Neill. I think Pittsfield had the same kind of problem. They took away, Comcast took away some channels from them. And I want to say it was Richie O'Neill, but he went to bat for them, it was in the paper, which I still have a copy of it someplace in my Warren Action Committee stuff, that said, they got it all back, and he was all, you know, happy that he did it. Because I remember saying, why the heck didn't he do it for Warren when we contacted him?
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's probably politicians. That's my personal opinion. You know, anybody can do it. It's probably politicians.
Pittsfield is a lot bigger than
Warren.
Warren, and they don't
Right,
care
right.
about Warren.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think one
if
of
you
the-
guys want to pursue that matter, you know, we gladly would do it again if we can do that, but,
That's how I got the conversation rolling with somebody. I started from the phone, cable bill, and they kept connecting me with different people. And by the time I get to the third or fourth person, I got somebody that knew you and knew the town
Sure.
and knew the the petition, so.
Well, the lady that you might wanna deal with
Later.
is named Eileen Leahy. She's a senior manager in government and community relations. Okay? So that's a lady you want to deal with if you want to probably any information on that, so.
Everybody
I don't have a
calls, say
phone
you live
number
in the dead
with
zone.
me. No. But anybody wants a copy that, you know, the her name.
So is that L-A-H-E-Y, lady?
Blah, blah, blah. L-E-A-H-Y.
Oh, L-E-A-H-Y, okay,
Eileen, E-I-L-E-E-N.
okay. And do you know what office she's out of? Is she out of like?
She's in the Springfield
Oh,
office,
Springfield, yep. Phone number?
303 Main Street, Springfield, Mass.
Any phone number?
01107. And she's a senior manager of government and community relations.
Okay. Any phone number at all, or no?
No, I don't have a phone number.
Email?
I don't have it. I know I did with her. I dealt with her before. I might have it. Okay, anybody, any questions more about contract? Because we get it.
I just, one thing, so there's 12 of us here, obviously, we're, you know, the tiniest percentage of the town. I don't know if there's a way, you know, Facebook or whatnot, I know Dave, like when you ran for selectmen, I stirred a pot on Facebook quite a bit on the town pages. How I know you know, a lot of people in town have lots of opinions. So I don't know if it's worth, you know, trying to get that opinion on, you know, online somehow. Since there's so few of us here, you know, obviously we're not hearing from half the people in town. I don't know if it'd be worth something trying, so you guys are getting more input from people in town.
That's why we're gonna have another couple of meetings probably before, you know, she takes the notes and all the things you said here, we're gonna try to put it, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're gonna call another meeting, maybe other people will show, some people might be working, so I don't know. If there is a need, we call the third meeting before we bring it up, the whole thing to Board of Selectmen. And then, you know, Board of Selectmen, oh, we might not get it. Well, we might get it. Why don't we try it? When the negotiations come in. Yes, Holly?
Could we possibly put it up on our channel? With the
Pardon?
announcement on our channel that there's meeting?
Yeah, we always
There it is.
did. We
There
did
we
put
did.
it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So, this is what, go ahead.
Now, are you gonna televise Thursday's meeting?
Yes, we planning. I'm available,
Happened.
Lisa's available, we got a clue, we're gonna do it. Yeah. Okay.
I just have one thing, a question for Dave. Are they able to do, like you guys have public hearings that you can do, are they able to do the same thing, do public hearings and post them? Or is
Yeah.
this committee separate that they couldn't do public hearings?
If they wanted to hold one, yeah, it's no problem.
Oh, okay, so they could do like this, a pub,
I would probably recommend putting it up on the board, the electric board in the center of town too. Maybe get some more advertisement for you. And right now, we're in a transition of what's going on with the town website. We're trying to fix that, we're gonna have more people being able to have access to fix things on the town website. And this is probably something we could post on the town website too, because that needs to be visited and updated. The town website's been neglected for a long time.
In short, Mike, anytime we ask to do any town function, that means meetings or whatever, function, there's public. If we get a notification and somebody asks us, department heads ask us to do it, if we have a crew, we will gladly do it. We always did. Yes, go ahead.
I think he's asking if we can hold a public.
This is a
meeting.
public hearing.
This is a public.
This is
hearing.
a public
I
hearing.
think he's
no,
asking if we
I
can
understand that, but like the
hold
planning board
Yeah.
will say, you know, this is public hearing number 1, and then they say,
Yeah,
okay, we're gonna
yeah,
come back
yeah.
next month and
Yeah,
do
now-
more
Yeah.
public hearings.
And it
So I'm
was
just
a-
saying more on a couple month basis, that would be, I
Now,
think,
now,
the
Mike,
best
Right.
thing to do.
To clarify, when we do a public hearing, it's usually for a specific topic, and it's notifying all the abutters and giving
Yep,
so many
yep.
days and advertising it in the newspaper, because then we have to advertise it in the newspaper for so long.
Right.
There's a time period to do that for a public hearing. And there's certain things that we have to do a public hearing
Oh, okay,
for.
so maybe public hearing's not the right word then.
Well, this is basically what's going on.
This is
It's
what's
a
going on,
public-
public meeting, anybody invited to it.
Yeah.
you know.
So I would think if there was something every couple months, I think that.
We're gonna
you
do,
might-
like I said already, I told you probably two,
Okay,
we second meeting in September.
September,
And if we feel there's need for more, we're gonna have a third one before we present all the ideas and suggestions and complaints to Board of Selectmen. This process will take probably 2 years,
yeah,
because that's what it is. We're
yeah.
gonna go through the steps and stages to do it, because contract does not expire to
Yeah, right, so
December
it's a ways out,
31st,
yeah.
23, so that's all it is, so.
Yeah.
So we can even, make sure that they did everything what was asked for them to do in this contract, especially the roads that they're supposed to do. If not, there is a clause there that they have to pay the penalty for them doing that. So, just, there's, if they didn't do it, maybe we can do it, okay, you didn't do it, you gotta do it in the next contract first year or so right away, or
Well, if they sign a
Money.
contract to do something, and they don't do it.
Right,
breach the
right,
contract.
right.
wait
That's
till
what I
the
read
last
you,
minute,
that's what I read you those roads.
Right.
They did it, they're
10
supposed to
years
do it by the end of this contract.
That's highlighted.
Right, right, I got that too, I did it too. Because that was,
Shameful.
the issue of that was, because previous contract, we tried to put in that by the end of 2014, the whole town of Warren should be wired up or be available to any Comcast. And they found that, we pursued it, they found the loophole that the whole town, the one word was missing out of the contract, Comcast. And they did said it, no, we never said that, look at your contract. Well, nobody read that, one word was missing. Administrators say, I think you remember that, somebody were asking that, and that's, so we make sure we did it this time on that. I don't know if you guys gonna have a chance to meet the attorney, but he's pretty slick, that attorney.
They all are.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, they do not want to give you anything for nothing, unless you gotta pull it like a teeth almost to get something. They will give you money, but the money they will give you only, that's what we feel you deserve it. To get it more, you gotta have to really,
They give you money, it's your own.
they will give the money to town or whatever, but and after that, they don't want it, nothing
Well,
to
they got
do,
what they
they
want.
want it.
They're not giving it away.
Whatever give you, whatever they tell you, whatever they give you, take it or leave it. That's, you guys probably know that when you call them out your bill. Okay, well, that's, or I'm gonna drop you,
It never goes
or go
down.
right ahead. They don't
Yeah,
care.
they don't care.
They don't care if you drop it, so.
Nope.
If you get a good person on the other side of the phone that's sympathetic to you, well, maybe we can get you $20 off here a year on some kind of thing we found, but.
Down the Cape, I don't pay for, my cable box, there is no charge. And if you have the minimum plan, there's no charge for it. I don't know if that's for Warren, but I mean,
That's a good point.
I want you to know, I brought that up to the guy. When I
Yeah,
talked to him, I said, how come, where I am down in Bourne, we don't, I have 2 cable boxes, I don't pay for them. Here, they charge you a fee, they gave it to us first for free, then they started charging us
Yeah, every
for it.
month.
yeah.
And I want you to know,
It went up.
that down there, they told me because I have
$14.
the minimum plan,
Yeah.
as a discount, they give it to you for free.
Yeah.
There's no charge on the box.
Long as you're talking about the same boxes, because they got, for the people, they got older TVs, then, they got the little box.
I don't, mine's,
That make older TV receive the programming digital, because they all switch to digital now.
Right.
So there's no analog now, everything is digital. So I think the school was after, so we had one extra, I think, in the studio or something, we give it to school, but they charge you for this one, I think, $3.50 too.
Right.
Or something.
That's what I was
like
just wondering, is,
Yeah.
I brought that up, and the guy goes, well, they charge you for it. I said, no, they're not. I said, I had it for years, and and I've changed them with the more recent ones,
Yeah.
but they still don't charge me for it.
Yeah,
And-
that's, you know, for the basic, you got that, Lisa? You wrote it? Put
For
it in the
basic
front?
cable.
Basic cable, there's a free
And they allowed
box.
2 boxes that
Yeah,
weren't, if
free
third box, you had to
box.
pay a
That's-
fee for.
That's a good point, that's something we may be able to negotiate with them and try
Sure.
to get it from
Yeah,
them.
I heard on here twice.
Yeah, yeah. And to remember, all the, like town hall, schools, the libraries, they entitled to the free cable, basic cable, and the free internet. But they have to apply for it, they have to, you know, either come and approach us, or go right to the Comcast and say, listen, this is Warren Public Library, or this is Town Hall, and, you know, and they will gladly give you that. The trick on it is, because if you got a big, like say a town hall here, maybe, they might give you a discount because you're using so many computers, so you're using business cable, business box, business modem for the internet, and they said, well, we gotta charge you the business, this is just for standard modem, you know, but they might still give a discount to the town for the business thing, you know. They just changed it, I know, in town, because I got called, you know, when they just put a new modem, and I asked them, I tried to ask them, I was, why don't you give him X1, the newest one, the square one, which carries Wi-Fi, you know, to your house. And I don't know, the guy, I didn't pursue it, he said, well, that's only for private people, not for businesses. I said, well, I don't want to argue with a guy, with Priscilla, but any one of you at home, if you want to have a Wi-Fi through the cable modem, you gotta ask them for X1 box, they call it. That's the one that, it's like a little square one, it's a triangle one, that carries the Wi-Fi more powerful to more rooms in your house.
I want you to know, I have a Motorola, and I can walk 200 feet down, almost 150 feet down the road from my house, and you can still pick it up.
Yeah.
And I was paying for their rental one, the one.
$12, $14.
Right,
yeah.
and I got rid of it, and I only paid $150 or $130
Yeah.
for the one I bought from Amazon, and I've had it for several years, and.
Paid for itself.
and-
You can do that. You can
Yes,
do it.
and it was easy to set up, I want you to know, Comcast, there's certain ones Comcast recommends, that if you're gonna buy one, you buy this model,
Yep.
because it's compatible with their system,
Right, right.
so.
Same thing with the local channels. I don't know how many people got it. You can go into Walmart, I think we're close enough, 22, 25 miles to Springfield, you can go into Walmart. And I'm not working for the Comcast, I'm not advertising, I'm just telling you. You can get an antenna for $20, put it in your window, plug it into TV, and you get a channel 22 and 40.
You know, I tried that, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work at our
Yeah, it doesn't
house.
work at
Because
my
we
house
brought
either.
back the antenna. It didn't work. I'm not
It's
doing
just a flat.
But there gotta be new TV, there's gotta be one of the newer TV that's digital ready.
Right.
Not the old TV. It works in my house, I get it.
Digital signal, I got an old one, because it
And
changes
I
when.
get, the Springfield.
Anybody else got any questions to the contract?
All set.
Thank you for coming,
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. You guys got our number, if anything goes wrong, please call us, we try to fix it as soon as we can. And if no more questions, I'll adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your help.
Who's in charge?
I'll read this.